Vikashit Bharat, then from that point of view, we should know the shortcomings of our thinking process, our execution pattern, in which way we will be executing. Earlier I was the academician like many of you, but now I'm in administration. So in administration, how the administrator will be executing these shortcomings and in which way, it is all of us who can sit together and find out the best possible ways to reach to our goal. So, if we see the world statistics, you see here, I have given the two different years data. One is highlighted in pale yellow, where you can see that Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Malaysia, Ireland, Bangladesh, different countries are there. In 1998, you just see the women's participation, and in 2018, you just see the participation of the women. It is in the declining phase. Why? Why the statistics is like this? When we are going to other countries like Vietnam, Sweden, Netherlands, Germany, it is in the increasing trend. And here I have tried to give you the statistics that here the different countries which are there, how these different countries, they are going for this type of execution. But in India, if we see that 42.6% to 43% women are there, where we can tell that our women are graduated in science and technology. So we are considered to be the developed country, and in developed country we have to have the equal right. So if we see the women in science, we can find that the diversity and innovation, the diversity fosters that innovation which is very much there in women. We are also taking and addressing the global challenges where participation of women is equally there. We are going for the equal opportunity, role model and inspiration. I will be telling some of the women because Professor Singh has already mentioned Gargi Maitreyi, and I will not tell, I will be giving you today's data with which the women like me and many others, we feel very proud of the women who are participating in science and technology, and they are being recognized. So that is very important. And overall, until and unless the proper economic growth is there, we cannot tell that women are equally participated in overall development. So when we are talking about the women in science, I am giving you the statistics. India is having 43% women in science and technology, followed by UK, Sweden, US. Every time we are talking about the standard, whenever we are talking about abroad, we always talk about US. You just see 34%. And France 32, Germany 27. So, my dear students, immaterial of the gender, I'm telling you that until and unless the women is there in science and technology, we have felt that the overall development will not be there. And perhaps this is the the reason the topic of this year is Women in Science. Now, I told you that two things are there: women in science and technology, women in research and development. If we see the research and developmental contribution of women, because see, it needs analysis and it needs brainstorming. And while doing this, when we have analyzed, we found that Spain is the maximum that women contribution in science and technology, this R&D, followed by China. But you see the minimum contribution is India's, 16.6%. Why it is so? If the women is excelling in science and technology, why not they are coming for R&D activities? Many a time we have seen that it is research and development needs dedication. It needs time, which many a time the women they fail to give. And while analyzing this, we found there is a gender gap between male and female. Many of our department, the professors, they don't like to take women because researcher women, they will be working late in the evening. They don't want to take that risk. And many a time the talented women is not considered for the researcher position which she is eligible and she can do excel provided in that opportunity. And these gaps are there. We as the responsible citizen of India, we must think. And it is not that I'm telling this thing to women, I'm telling to the entire educated community, so that until and unless I have come from the IIT system, and it is worth mentioning that when I came to IIT, you will be wondering that we had only one hostel, girls' hostel, and thousands of male students used to be there. 11 such boys' hostels were there, only one girls' hostel. 4 wings were there, and those 4 wings were not filled up. All the girls, we used to stay in 2 wings, and that was sufficient for accommodating all the girl students when I was a student of IIT Kharagpur. And it is worth mentioning that today we have 9 girls hostels. And I feel today that had 2 more girls hostels are coming up, it would not be bad for accommodating our girl students or conducting different other programs where the girl students will be participating. When I joined IIT Kharagpur as a faculty, out of 475 male faculty, only 7 lady faculty members were there. Just you see the ratio. And today's date, when I'm standing here, we have more than 150 plus lady faculty members. And this is gradually getting improved, but this improvement is also not sufficient. But what I would like to tell you is that to all my girl students and the faculty, lady faculty of this university, that until and unless I got the help and cooperation from my male faculty members, it would not have possible for me to come to this position which at present I am holding. And that is the reason I am telling that it is not male versus female. We all are together and we all should go the same path for the fixed destination which is there for us. It is not that male versus female. Please don't get confused from my talk. It is, I'm telling to all of you so that we can think in a better way, in a different way than what we are doing in today's day. So, when we are just talking about these women, that work-life balance is very important because we have our personal life, we have our professional life. And when we are talking about this, another area, that lack of representation and the support, many a time the women, they don't get. And many a time I have already told that gender biasness is there. So these are some of the issues which are to be addressed. Now this is a very common slide I have prepared for all of you. We are talking about that harassment, these women are getting harassed, but when we are taking the statistics, we have found that men are equally also getting harassed. It is not that only women are getting harassed. And you just see that they have ever experienced gender discrimination. Men in STEM is 19%, women is 50%. But men is also there. Try to understand. This is the psychology. It is to be understood. Because with this data, we have had several brainstorming, and then only I'm just presenting this before you. Gender, see, their gender has made it harder to succeed at work. 7% male, 20% female. Sexual harassment, 28%. We are always talking about that sexual harassment means it is women. It is not like that. The truth is something different. 28% male is undergoing this type of harassment, whereas 36% women. And that may be the reason. The entire working environment, the nature of work, the work profiling are to be redefined, and it is to be rethinking of this thing is very much needed. So when we are just going for the average earning of male and female in industry to any other except government organization, you can find that in STEM job, if male are getting 37.69, female are getting 31.59. Remuneration discriminations are also there. This gender pay gap is already being thought of for many developed countries, and now we are trying to give this parity that all employees, full-time, part-time, and this type of options are being opened for the women. But this gap of payment for male and female is to be minimized. In government organization, we don't realize this. But when we are going to any industry, private industry or private institution, this disparity is. And that is the reason why I'm telling that these are the hard truth. And we have to accept this truth all stay 27%. If I just make the average, 18% pay gap is there. In health sector, you can see 78% women are there and 17% disparity is seen. In all industry, 51% women, 20% pay gap is there with the male. I'm just telling that always we are telling that yes, women are there, women are into energy is the first women deputy director and so many things they are telling. But the hard truth is that today's date also, if a male and a female is compared, the female has to work more than 2.2 times work than a male faculty. And this is the hard truth of today's date. And that is the reason I'm just telling that in which way it needs brainstorming. It needs brainstorming. In Denmark, the gap is a little more, 2.8 times that women has to work to get the equal platform. So that is the reason I'm just telling that if we are going for these women in state, then we have to go for the domestic obstacle women have to overcome, where the support of other senior women and the men are very much required. Here, mother is there, so most of the cases, the women has to sacrifice their career. And most importantly, these are the leaky pipelines which are to be addressed in an appropriate manner. And when we are just talking about this, there are different programs which are being taken by different NGOs, different government organizations, different state organizations, and they are trying to minimize this thing by giving the scholarship, fellowship to the women, break in the career, and in different ways this mentorship and other socio-cultural, gender-sensitized programs are there. If we see the government's initiative, we can find that gender equity forums are there, modern skill integration, multidisciplinary pathways, that the gender inclusive equity access and special educational zones are also there. We have specific program in GST, now ANRF. So these programs are exclusively for the women. So women faculty, if they have any career break or they have discontinued in their study period, they can attend all these fellowships which are there in this program. So in many of these programs, you will be finding that yes, some of the committees are also there present to help the women to get this type of fellowships. So these are some of the summary of this particular this program which the government of India has taken for the women. In IIT Kharagpur, I think until and unless I tell it will be incomplete, we are giving so many awards or scholarship for exclusively women students and women scholars. And these fellowships are exclusively, and few are there where we don't have any gender biasness. Many others are there. I have named few of them. These are the recognition of the women faculty members who are taking all these type of awards to our institute, and we individually recognize them and we are acknowledging their contribution. So these are some of the leaderships where the women are actively participating in material of the gender, starting from leadership to lab to market. The product which is getting developed on the table, how we will be taking that into the market. So these type of things are also there. Now at the end, I will be telling you, concluding my talk with some of the success stories of the women, the great women leader of our country. Kadambari Ganguly, she was the first female doctor in India. Janaki Amal, first Indian scientist to get the Padma Shri Award, and she became the Director General of Botanical Survey of India. Indira Hinduja, you have seen that how that baby is born, that gamete intrafallopian transfer. She is the one who did that for the first time in the year 1988. Kamala Sohil, she is the first Indian women lady who backed PhD and became IIC Bangalore director. Ashima Chatterjee, she is a pioneering lady. So if somebody is telling that yes, whom you are worshipping, I will tell that this lady whom I pray by everything, that yes, she is the one. Any phytochemicals you just tell, she is the one who has worked on that, and she became the Ayurveda. Kalpana Chawla, I think all of you know Kalpana Chawla, and she is the astronaut, and she was there in that space journey. In the area of medicine, if we see Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, I think you must be knowing that she is the daughter of Professor M.S. Swaminathan, and she is the chief scientist of World Health, WHO, and has contributed the global health policies. Dr. Gangadip Kang is renowned for the work in the field of microbiology and vaccine. Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Ravindranath, she is the one who is the founder director of National Brain Research Center. So where the ladies have not contributed? Kiran Majumdar. So yesterday only I had some interaction with his office, and she is the one who started her industry in a garage. And now she is the owner of the billions and billions dollar company Biocon. So in the space research, I think you must have heard of that Chandrayaan 3, and there are different, more than 100 women researchers are there, and she is Ritu Karidhal. She is known as Rocket Women of India. Dr. Nandini Harina, she is also from ISRO. Dr. Anuradha Tike, she is also participating in this particular Chandrayaan thing. Nina Rohit, some of the things, Moumita Datta, T.C. Thomas, she became the Director General of Aeronautical Systems, and Dr. Lalita Amrita, the Muthura Vanitha. So they are the engineers, and they have, in case of Dr. Moumika Datta, she was the one who developed the software for the landing pattern, and she was the one who developed that. So that way their contribution was there. And in conclusion, I would like to tell that for women, see, talent is there with the women, creativity is there with women. Until and unless mother is there in a family, the entire family is getting stuck. So that driving force which is there with the mother, who is always leading the house, who is always taking care of the children with his love, affection, is there with the women. And if women is properly handled, if women is respected, then the entire world will be different, and we will not be considered as developing country, but we will be securing our position as developed country. And it is my earnest request to all of you, and my special request to the Vice Chancellor of Fakir Mohon University, that those grey areas which are there should be reanalyzed, and that shortcomings, how to minimize this. And with this, once again, I would like to thank all of you for your patience with me. Thank you.